The Peacemaker Season 2 ending sets up a larger story within the DCU, which brings potential for new characters, a chance to expand the universe, and to introduce us to this chapter's big threat. In the finale, Peacemaker is sent as a test subject to the seemingly uninhabited world dubbed Salvation. Now, the government plans to use this world as a prison for metahuman criminals, though I suspect because Lex Luthor is involved, all metas will be sent to this prison. This concept is inspired by the comic Salvation Run. Though this won't be a direct adaptation, I decided to read it to see what we could expect from this storyline in the DCU. In this story, the government secretly sends villains to a hostile planet with no trial, no due process, just basically a death sentence. Because this planet is filled with monsters and alien threats, so their survival entirely depends on their cooperation, which is not their strong suit, since they're all very bad, very selfish people. They end up splitting into different factions, like Lex Luthor's, who want to build a machine to be able to escape this hell planet, the Jokers, who enjoy the chaos and the destruction around them, aka the Psychos, and Vandal Savage, who is trying to start a dynasty by manipulating the women and getting them all pregnant. So he's just off doing his own thing, dude. Anyway, the villains cannot stop infighting and fighting between factions, so trust is non-existent on this world. Meanwhile, Martian Manhunter, disguised as Blockbuster, is secretly observing everything in hopes to help, but once exposed, he's brutally beaten, though he had no idea that they were being sent to this death trap. Eventually, we find out that the Sod of Apocalypse has been watching, and this planet is actually a training ground for Darkseid's parademons. While being attacked, they hurry to finish Lex's machine to escape, and other villains are being mind-controlled by Gorilla Grodd to help power the machine. They escape, and the machine self-destructs, killing the parademons. And Martian Manhunter is left behind, imprisoned in a burning cage. So far, only the concept appears to be being adapted for the DCU, but there is so much potential to grab from this story. Like new villains to be introduced that we haven't seen yet in the DCU. This would also be a great opportunity to introduce Martian Manhunter. And also the return of characters like Bloodsport, who could be reunited with Peacemaker to have to work together to escape this hell planet, which would be amazing to see. Also, Gorilla Grodd, who's already been teased in Creature Commandos. I just love Gorilla Grodd, and I'd love to see him in this. And a possible long game tease for Darkseid, similar to what Marvel did with Thanos in their first 10 years. But there are a lot of things that I don't think will be included, like Lex Luthor on Salvation, since he and his men are working with Flag and the government to send the criminals here, though a betrayal twist would be very nice to see, and I'd love to see that. And Darkseid and his parademons, unless, like I said, James Gunn is slowly building to him. As of right now, all of it is unknown. All we know is just the concept of the villains being sent to a planet is being used. This storyline brings a huge potential for the world building of the DCU, whether it stays somewhat close to Salvation Run or goes into a brand new direction. Either way, I cannot wait to see how this unfolds and what elements from the comic make it into the DCU.